Hello, I just wanted to give you an introductory lesson to Desmos. You may already have used it, you may be familiar with it. However, let's review it for everybody so that everybody can feel comfortable with it. Here I am on Chrome. There's the opening page. And of course, this is called the browser line up in here, where you can put in here whatever you wish, search for it. So what I'm going to do is simply type in www, there it is, and then I'm going to type in Desmos, Desmos.com. So look in the browser, and there it is, Desmos.com. And then hit the return key, and this is what you will get. This can be downloaded to your phone, any smart device, iPad. It's a tool that can be very useful for us throughout the school year. So I suggest that you download it so that it's convenient for you and you can use it anytime you wish. So now I will hit Start Graphing. And here's the screen that you get. You can see it's a typical piece of graph paper. On the left-hand side, notice over here that there are spaces. This is where we can type our equation. You can change the screen. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, there's this, looks like a wrench, a tool. If I click on that tool, you get the opportunity to change the graph paper according to what you wish. And also you can later on graph in degrees and radians. We're simply going to graph in the usual way, however. And this is where you can change how far the left x-axis goes, how far to the right. Do you want to count by ones or twos? The y-axis up and down. Do you want to count up by ones, by twos? Whatever. You can make all the adjustments here in this graph setting in the toolbox right in there. So let's type in a couple of things. I'm going to type y equals a very simple line, y equals x. There it is. One of the nice things about this program, it does color. And by doing it in color, you can see the difference if you make some changes. So I'm going to click, and then I'm going to type in y equals 2x. And you will notice that y equals 2x comes out in a different color. And then I can do it again, one more time, and I will type in a negative this time, y equals negative 2x. And notice it's in green on my screen. Maybe a little bit different in terms of the colors, but I believe, you've got a few colors, and you can use them to your advantage to see the difference when you are typing in different equations. Now, one of the other things you can do is click on this X. That's gone. Gone and gone. Now, notice something. I'm going to type in just X without the Y equals, and the program automatically assumes Y equals X. So you don't really need to put in the Y. However, I usually do so that we can see both variables, Y equals X. And let's take a look at another one that you might have seen already. I'm going to type in y equals x squared. Maybe you remember the parabola. So how do I type in y equals x squared? Well, there's y equals, and then I put x, but now I need x squared. So I go on the keyboard and I hit Shift 6. And look what happens when I hit Shift 6. It raises, and then I can put the 2, and now I've got x squared. So that's a very useful way of typing in or entering the data for a parabola. Y equals x squared, Shift 6. And then let me put another one for you just to show you a few different ones here. This time I'm going to type in or enter y equals, and then I'm going to hit my Shift key, and on the far right-hand side, you will see this symbol, just a straight vertical bar. I'm going to put the X in there, and you might see it coming. It is the absolute value. I finish it with a second bar, and in red on my screen, I've got y equals the absolute value of x. These are three very familiar graphs, very familiar equations. Here's your line, first one, y equals x. Here's your parabola, y equals x squared. Here is your absolute value graph. It's a V, y equals the absolute value of x. In fact, these three are called parents because all other lines, all other parabolas, all other absolute values look very similar to these, but they might move around. They might be narrower, wider, tilt more. But these three that you see on the screen now are called the parent graphs. There are other parent graphs as well, but these are three that you may well have seen, have graphed on your own in your Algebra 1 textbook. And let me put one more, and this one's a little bit unusual. It's y equals x cubed. It's a cube equation. Here's the x. Now I'm going to put shift 6, but this time I put a 3 in there. And notice how it twists. Let me get rid of the line parent. Let me get rid of the parabola parent. Let me get rid of the absolute value parent. And suddenly the only one remaining is x cubed. This is the parent cube graph. You can make it narrower, closer to the y-axis, wider, pull it away from the y-axis. You can lift it up, you can lift it down. So this lesson was getting Desmos, using Desmos, and 3 or 4 parent graphs. Quickly to review, you can type into your browser desmos.com and download it. You can go over to the tool function and change the settings, but the setting that comes up on the screen, oftentimes called default, works very nicely for what we are doing. And you can fool with it to see what you like best. And then here you can type in the equations that you want. And remember, they come out in different colors, not infinite number of colors, but several different colors, which are very useful to us. And again, let's go to the parent, y equals x, y equals x, the parent line. Y equals x squared, y equals x, shift 6 squared, the parent parabola. The next one, y equals, I will go over on the far right-hand side of the keyboard and look for that vertical line, shift on that vertical line, I need an equal sign, shift on the vertical line, x, and do it again. There's your parent absolute value. And then one more, let me do the parent for the cube, y equals x, shift 6, cube, and there it is. And again, you can see 4 different colors. Once again, useful for parents. You can move them up and down, left and right. You can make them narrower and wider. Those are called transformations, a long word that means you can make changes to them. Trans, meaning crossing, changing, forms. They look a little different, but they're related to the parent. Transformations, up and down, left and right, slide it left and right, open it wide, keep it narrow. All right, so the end of this little introduction to parents, Desmos, and how to get those exponents in there. Thank you very much.